What's up everybody, I'm Zach, I'm Just a Simple Chef, and today we're gonna learn all about pickles. I love pickling vegetables, especially cucumbers and carrots, but you can do onions and poblanos and jalapenos and all sorts of great vegetables and even some fruits. You'd be surprised. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to learn about pickling. All right, so with everything that we do, we want to mise out our ingredients and get everything ready, and we're also going to make our pickling liquid. All right, so we're going to open up our cucumbers. We're going to put a nice tasty peel on it just to give it kind of like a texture and a look, and we're going to slice it. Get that into your container on the side, and we're going to peel some carrots, and then we're going to cut them on a bias as thin as possible, just like that. Now we're going to peel an onion and we're going to julienne it, just very fine. Put that aside. Then we're going to work on our Anaheim peppers, and we're going to de-seed them very carefully. Make sure not to cut yourself. And then we're just going to slice those. Alright, so now that we got our vegetables all cut up, we're going to go ahead and get our pickling liquid started. We're going to do two different kinds. We're going to do a bread and butter, and then we're going to do kind of like just a generic dill pickling, basic pickling liquid. And it's pretty simple. It's usually just vinegar and sugar and salt with aromatics like coriander, black peppercorn, bay leaves, dill, things like that. Whole grain mustard. Okay, we're gonna do white vinegar. We're gonna do 1.5 cups. We're gonna do apple cider vinegar. We're gonna do 1.5 cups. And then we're gonna do 1.5 cups of sugar. We're gonna add a tablespoon of ground turmeric, a tablespoon of ground mustard. We're gonna taste, and we're gonna get that on the stove, get that boiling. If you like what you're watching and you enjoy the content, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And if you really like it and you want to see my stuff every week, go ahead and hit the subscriber button and then hit the little bell so you know when I post, and we can comment and you can ask questions, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. There's definitely no stupid questions to ask. So go ahead and feel free to ask them all. Alright, so we're going to start with a cup of sugar, 3 cups of vinegar, just a splash of coriander seeds, splash of black peppercorns. We're going to do a little bit of dill. I'm going to do a little bit of dill seed. I'm going to do a little bit of bay leaves. Get that on the stove and bring that to a boil. And we want these to be boiling. And now we're going to prepare our vegetables into our jars. So we're going to start with our cucumbers for our bread and butter. We're just going to fill the jar up almost all the way, and then we're going to cover the top with some julienned onions. That'll kind of hold all the cucumbers under the liquid when we put the liquid in there. Now we're going to add our carrots, some cucumbers, some Anaheim peppers, and some onions. And we're going to move on to the next jar. We're going to do cucumbers, peppers, and onions. Alright, so we got our vegetables in our jars. We got the pickling liquids on the stove coming up to a boil to bring out all the flavors and of the aromatics, and just to combine everything, melt the sugar, get it really going. And then we're going to pour it hot, boiling hot, turn off the stove, bring the pot over and pour it into our jars. And then we're gonna let that sit just like that until it comes to room temperature, and then we're gonna put it in the fridge, and it's gonna be amazing to eat tomorrow. I'm gonna taste it when it's hot just to make sure that it tastes good. And if it needs anything like a little bit more salt or something, I'm gonna go ahead and do that at that time. And we're pretty much just gonna let it sit, and that's it. It's super simple, super easy. You can make this the night before, you can make it a week before. If you have a party and you wanna say, hey, I made some pickles, it doesn't take too much. Just add a little bit of flavor, aromatics, experiment different ratios of vinegar to sugar, vinegar or water, whatever you want to do. All right, so now that it's boiling, we're going to turn it off and we're going to take it over to our jars. We're going to give it a quick taste, make sure everything tastes good, and we're going to pour it over our cucumbers to make pickles. And same thing for our dill vinegar. We're going to take that over to our jars and we're going to fill them up. And I didn't make enough for the third jar, so I put as much as I could, and then I fill the rest with the turmeric bread and butter vinegar sauce. And we're going to taste each jar. Make sure that it tastes okay and let it sit. And make sure to save the rest of your... Alright, so there you have it. It's a super quick video. It's super simple. There's nothing too crazy about it. You can have great tasting pickles at home. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and dig into this just to taste the flavor profile, but I would just not even touch it until tomorrow, but because it's still kind of hot, but I've tasted things right off the stove, so. Like that one definitely needs more salt. So that's kind of why I do it, because I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more salt. Because while it's still hot, the salt kind of will melt into the liquid. So. Alright. Let's try this one. Same thing, they all need some salt, for sure. So. And we're gonna taste the last one with this, since after we added the salt. Let's see, got carrot. Very good. I really hope you guys enjoyed this.